Okay, the recording is on. Okay, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining in. Please say hello and let us know from where you have joined in. And you can do so by typing it in the chat window. Yeah, thank you. So we will begin shortly in I think it's time, just about time. We can get started. All right, so I think we will get started then. Okay, key skills for project managers in COVID era and beyond. So that's the topic that we are going to talk about today. And my name is Priya Patra. I'm the Vice President Outreach of the PMI Mumbai chapter. And with me, I have my co-host Lenka Pinkot. She's again a chapter leader, a Vice President from Czech Republic. So Linka, please introduce yourself to this international joint audience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lenka Pinkot, and as Priya mentioned, I am Vice President for Programs from PMI chapter of Czech Republic. So I'm very happy to team up with Priya and bring you this joint event of our chapters where we would like to talk about topic which is, I believe, common for the both of us. But as we are coming from different worlds, Czech Republic and India, we wanted to give you opportunity to have SMEs from both regions and to share their different perspective, opinions, and looking for what we have in common.
Sure. We all know COVID-19 has changed everything. Probably our business, our way of working, our lives. I think it's forever. And the burning question that comes to our mind is that how do I survive? How do I thrive in this uncertainty? And the question is, what are the key skills that a project manager should have, or leaders, or my team should have in this COVID era and beyond? And as Lenka said, we have SMEs both from Mumbai as well as Czech Republic today, and they're going to, answer this very question. And we're going to talk about this at length today. But before we get started, one disclaimer: all SMEs, including myself, I'm not an SME in this era, but including myself and Lenka, are speaking on their individual capacity. We do not represent the views of our organizations at all. So it is all my personal and SME's personal views that we will be discussing today. So, so before I get started, let me introduce you to the panelist of the day. And with that, we move to the next slide. Yes, so let me know when you can. Swati, you might have to mute the others again. Okay, so here are our panelists of the day. I will introduce the Mumbai or the Indian counterparts just so that I don't mispronounce the other names. And that is what we decided to do. So we have Satish Mittal, who is a technology leader. And prior to handling technology leadership roles at Vodafone, Reliance, and Lucent Technologies, he was also instrumental in creating enterprise product portfolios around new technologies like cloud, IoT, business analytics. And he is well known in the technology industry in India today. And currently he heads the Express Wi-Fi at Facebook India. So again, all our views will be individual views only, not representing our organizations. The second panelist that we have is Chintan Ojha, and he is also the vice president of our Mumbai chapter. By profession, Chintan is a telecom program manager, while by passion, he's a technology program management evangelist. That's a cool thing to say. And through his career span of 20 plus years, he has worked in various projects, programs in government, defense, private sectors, spanning across multi-million, multi-technology and multi-geography, as well as multicultural teams. His major career milestones include program managing one of the world's fastest GSM network rollout in a single geography and partnering with India's first smart city project as the ICT partner. Ooh, that is a lot, right? Recently, Chintan got recognized as one of the top most 50 global thought leaders and influencers for blockchain, and he ranks 44. Wow. So welcome Chintan and welcome Satish. And with this,
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Priya, for introduction. I look forward for active discussion today. Thanks.
Sure. And with this, Lenka, I hand it over to you to introduce our SMEs from the Czech Republic chapter.
Hello, everyone. So I would like to introduce our panelists. So first, I will go to Peter Janiš. Peter Janiš is one of the founding members of PMI Czech chapter. He has multiple years in project management. Apart from being active volunteer and supporting the profession, Peter is also an entrepreneur who runs his own company that is providing services in project management, and they serve large customers across different industries. So topic of COVID-19, new way of working is definitely on his daily agenda. Peter also very recently, this is like a fun fact, participated on the worldwide PMO hackathon event and the event Hacking COVID-19. And I have to say personally, I'm very proud of him because he was the member of the winning team. So with their topic, Crisis Change Management Model, they were awarded with the first place on this international event. And then last but not least, our last SME expert, Michal Jalker. Michal, he's head of PMO office. He's senior leader from banking industry from Czech Republic, and he has extensive experience in portfolio management, leading of multiple cross-functional teams. So Michal, he will share his perspective, how this new situation is impacting corporate world, his team of project managers, what they need to change. And then he will use his strong background in IT delivery, risk management, and working in global teams. So welcome, Michal. Welcome, Peter.
Yeah. So thank you, Lenka, for introducing Michal and Peter. I hope I pronounced their names right.
Perfect.
So what we have done today is that there are a lot of questions that were coming up, right? About how do you manage yourself, your team, as well as your businesses in the COVID era and beyond. So what we did, myself and Lenka, we kind of categorized those questions into three groups, like projects or the nature of the products that will be, coming up in the near future, the ways of working, and the levers like tools, technology, what is required to make us successful, right? And I'm going to take up the project section. So with that, I will get started. Until March, I was very excited about the future, and I used to write blogs on how the future of work would look like, what skills and techniques that we would be required to manage the future. Come March, the situation changed, and boom, and I was perplexed. I didn't know what was going on, and everything changed to this new normal. Since I have so many eminent panelists here, I can't resist but asking that question, that very question that has been burning so far. What are the three skills do you think are required for us to succeed in this new normal? So I will start with Peter. Do you want to
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm very excited to be with you. So what I see on the market is not very positive because I see that demand is decreasing. Many companies had to take some cost-cutting measures. So if I look in general, many of us will have to adapt their job or we have to change their job. So this is why I believe that the first skill that you need to have is the adaptability. Just don't be afraid to go project management, take some consulting role, process improvement role, or go to some nearby profession. So adaptability first place. So second place, you might find your new role in some different company, different environment. So I believe listening will be necessary to understand the new context and the new environment that we will be in. So second thing, listening. But despite the cost cutting, what I see as booming is all sort of digital projects. So digital skills will be highly appreciated. And I would really suggest, and I'm doing as well, to work out on all sorts of digital skills. So digital skills is the third place. So thank you.
Good. Yeah, so it's adaptability, listen more, talk less, and digital skills. Thank you, Peter. What about Mikhail? Mikhail?
So firstly, thank you for the opportunity that I can join you on this event. It's really great to see a lot of people and be able to share with you my see on this topic. So I will firstly start with the first skill, which is for me crucial in a new era. It's communication, because in this digital world, we have to adapt. We have to somehow join people together, to put them together, and we have to also understand them better. Yeah, because a lot of my colleagues is now facing problems because they are now moved from their offices into the home offices, and they are staying with their small children's families, partners, and they are facing a lot of issues. So we, as project managers, have to understand these problems and try to help our colleagues, our teams. So it's for me communication and leadership of our group as a project managers. The last thing is for me the motivation. Yeah, we have to keep the teams motivated, because, well, we are now on the online meeting. It's really nice. I can see that Priya is listening to me. But if we are attending meetings with 20 members of our teams, we have to somehow ensure that they are listening. They are able to understand what we are speaking about, and also they are connected with the topic, and we are at the end able to deliver the right thing for our customers. So for me, we have to focus more on the soft skills in project management, not to the hard skills, because everybody has the PMI, a lot of certificates, but at the end, it's about the people. So we have to communicate better, lead them better, and motivate them better.
Sure,
for me, these are the three skills.
Cool. Satish, since you are a technology leader and you are pioneering technology advancements in our country, what do you think are the key skills that are required for us to survive in this and thrive, of course, succeed in this era?
Priya and everybody, thank you very much for being here. So it's a pleasure to be a part of this chapter. I will just add on to what Peter and Michael said. I think hard skills, Peter talked about it, Michael talked about soft skills. I would like to add a bit more on the soft skills as a PM. I think as a PM, one of the key part had been to navigate through multiple teams. And now that is becoming even more harder when you are working remotely. So I would say as a PM, you would have to now get your third eye out, because all those side table conversations, coffee table conversations are generally limited now. And hence you should be able to navigate through remotely and somewhere estimate the risk and mitigate the risk on the project, because you are not able to meet people. So that's one. Second one is very much like what Michael said. How do you keep the team motivated? Because a PM is supposed to get the work done through a multiple complex team structure. Generally, PM is not that he does all the work himself or herself. It is he gets the work done from others. And now you don't know what's happening on the other side because you are not able to meet those things where you would be in a position to just pat the back of somebody who has done a good job. You are not able to do it now. So how do we really navigate through and to make sure that you are still able to pat the people remotely and say, hey guys, stay motivated. We are almost on course. And third one, obviously, is if you are in trouble, if you see a risk, how do you motivate people again to come together and solve it in a fashion which was not otherwise available. Earlier, you were in a position to get the team into a room, do a whiteboarding. You don't have that luxury anymore, or it will be very limited going forward. So these are the soft skills I would like to emphasize a bit more as compared to what it was earlier.
Okay. So maybe it looks like we have to engage ourselves more or make ourselves more competent with the virtual collaboration skills and,
Yes.
kind of understand the pulse of our team to ensure that we kind of get everyone together, motivate and take them forward, aligned to the one vision, the only the one vision or one goal that the organization is looking forward. Okay, so with this, we go to Chintan. Chintan, what is your take on this?
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Priya. So I would say communication is the key skill. In pre-COVID era, also communication has been a key skill for PM. But now to communicate crisply, we have various mediums for communication. Use the right medium at the right time. Uh, Collaborate virtually. We need to learn how to effectively collaborate in the most possible time. And definitely, that last but not the least, we need to start cooperating with each other because in post-COVID era, the working hours have extended enormously, and that is how we all need to understand that while we are working from our house, we have a family, and that is where we all PMs also need to be sensitive. So this is something I would recommend that we all should definitely learn these three things. To sum up, I would say that we must learn to identify, classify, simplify, justify, and amplify. So this is my take on the first question. Thanks, Priya.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Classify, justify,
Identify,
and identify.
identify, classify, simplify, justify, and amplify.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, just to let you know, the audiences who are listening, who have joined us today, these are the questions that we have. But you are always welcome to type in your live questions on the chat window. We will be moderating them and we'll be taking them up. And of course, we'll be clubbing them together in the categories. And we'll be asking to our panelists today. All right. So, Lenka, do we have any live questions? Do we want to take them up or we will move ahead? Do you see any questions
Yeah.
out there?
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for everyone who already started posted questions in the chat. So I am monitoring them, making notes. So as we said, over communicate. If you see me typing, I'm not unpolite. I'm just making notes. So thanks for that. I see really very two interesting questions. Why belongs to the category to way of working. So I would leave that later. And the one is about if should we be afraid of losing jobs as PM in post-COVID time? So this is very hard question indeed. So Priya, I will leave it up to you if we leave it a little bit later, so that we give times for our SME speakers to think about it, because I believe that everybody is worried about losing jobs. But in general, I would suggest to move to question number 2, and then let's approach these questions from the chat.
Yeah, sure. So we will go to the next question, and we have seen that as we have seen, right, as a panelist said, there is a new way of working. Everyone is working remote, and COVID-19, they say, it's like a black swan event, and it's just like the event of the internet or, the 2008 market crash. And obviously that brings us a lot of anxiety, anxiousness, thinking that, things will change. It is affecting all industries and we might lose our jobs as well. And there'll be change in process, decentralization. So what do you think? These changes are going to be permanent, even post the COVID-19 era? So, Peter, what is your take on this? Do you think these changes are going to be permanent even beyond this pandemic?
Okay, Priya, thank you very much. Maybe next time we could start from Chintan, so I'm not starting always. But for me, the partial remote working is becoming permanent, because as I see around me, people are not willing to go to work every day to the office. So it's becoming a new standard. I see one other trend, but maybe not that much related to COVID, that you need to expand your skills beyond project management. For example, it's a cost-cutting project. It's about project management, process leaning, change, organizational change management. You need to have a lot of other skills than project management, and this is an ongoing trend that I could see.
Yeah.
That's it for me. Thank
Right.
you.
So I will mix it up now since Peter said that we will go to Chintan now. Chintan, do you think all these changes will be permanent and how do we cope up with this?
Definitely, the element of virtual working would remain there. So it would differ from industry to industry, country to country, and we have to essentially be ready for this. As Peter said, that yes, new skill needs to be learned, and that is where I would say, uh, I mean, just to start with, finance for non-finance is something everyone should refresh. It would be a good step to have a refresher because being sensitive to cost is going to be the need of the moment, and understanding finance or refreshing our knowledge on finance would help people. So that is where I would say that I would like to share actionable with the audience here, that it would be good for all of us to refresh finance for non-finance, as well as an exposure to agile way of working would be definitely helpful.
So, you're saying learning new skills like exposure to finance for non-finance as well as agile way of working are something that we should embrace because this seems to be permanent, right?
Because
So,
that would help us in thrive in this decentralized way of working.
yeah. So, okay. So, Satish, what is your take on this as well? Do you agree with what our panelists said, or you have another view
Yeah.
towards this? Yeah.
Priya, it is almost in sync with what Peter and Chintan said, that there will be certain things which will be permanent. So let's face it, as a program manager, working remotely will become part of your life. Uh, as Peter said, may not be 7 days a week, but maybe people will start working from home maybe 2 days a week. So that will be part of life. So that will be, it looks like will be permanent. Similarly, your adaptation to start using online tools will be permanent. We have seen during last 2 months that some of our old school businesses, they were even struggling to come on a VC because they are just used to coming to the office and working on the files, but that is no more existing. Right. So I think every business would have to start learning those things. And the same holds good for the PM as well, that you have to start adapting yourself to learning online tools all the time now. That will become permanent.
Definitely. I was reading an article on diversity and inclusion, and more about inclusion about people from the older generation who are so much used to face this thing, talking and collaborating. They suddenly went silent in the remote working this thing because they were not used to this kind of working, and they were not used to using those virtual tools so efficiently as the younger generations were using. And that's where, as a leader, we have to be inclusive and we have to ensure they come into the mainstream. So, Mikhail, off to you now. So, do you think all these, what we are talking about, this impact will be permanent? And how do we adapt to this if it is permanent?
I completely agree with my colleagues that definitely we will be working remotely, I think most of the time, but it also give us an opportunity because if we don't have offices, we can cooperate with other people from different countries and extend our teams. Better area, better expertise, and so on. Yeah, so we have to adapt to this. Yeah, for me, it's really nice to see that a lot of companies were able to adapt new online tools within just few weeks because of the COVID era. And we were also able to get rid of some dogmas that people on the back offices are unable to work remotely. We have to sit in the offices. Yeah. So for me, there is a lot of opportunities for project managers to learn. As Peter said, we have to focus on things which can reduce the cost base of all the companies. Yeah, because now we can also reduce our rented offices. We can reduce the costs related to the cars because we will be staying at home, and so on. So I see there are a lot of challenges, but a lot of opportunities for each company. And at the end, we can be stronger and better. But as Peter said, well, there will be a really big challenge for project managers because there will be enough projects for all of us at the end. Yeah, because well, the investment will not be there.
Sure. So I like to look at the opportunities and think that how I can leverage on them. For example, right now we are talking to the Czech Republic, which I have never thought would have been possible if this digital platform never existed. So with this, Lenka, I think you have an interesting question to ask, am I?
Yeah. So I would actually like to follow up. This is what I love on live discussion, because we had these pretty fun questions, but as you are talking, it's causing reaction. So people, suddenly I grouped together a couple of questions which are asking on the other side of the coin. So you talked about, that it's good that when people move to home offices, we save a little bit of office space, maybe car costs, etc., etc. But what I'm hearing from the chat is that our project managers have also negative experience. They see that, for instance, as some of the working time was reduced in some offices, suddenly they have to compete for shared resources which are becoming scarce. Or, for instance, things are starting to take longer because as people are not sitting together and just, have this conversation, quick chat, it's called osmotic communication. Now it's missing. And so they say that things are taking longer. Or when you do some activity, a lot of contributors are there. It's hard to coordinate when you are just online. So they are asking if we continue in this remote way of working and things are getting longer, which is also impacting confidence of people on the project, how to deal with this. Is there anything that you would suggest, how to deal with these things? Take longer time, it's more difficult, there's more communication needed. What can we do with that? And I don't know who will be the brave one to start with this, because we have some people working in corporations, some people working for external companies. So who's the brave one?
I'm happy to take that on with a slightly different experience. I think it's more of a mental models where new mental models will start coming in. What looks difficult, once you start trying it, it starts looking easier. Let me give you two big examples which has happened in India. There was a large program called I for India, where 80 plus celebrities across the country and across the globe came together for 3 hours for a live concert. Who thought that these kind of things can be done remotely? Because everybody thought orchestra is something which you have to be on the stage and everybody is together and there are 1,000 people watching you or listening you. So this was very successfully done. So this is an example where maybe new mental models will start coming in the market. What look difficult will start looking easier. A similar thing has happened for another community, which was like charitable giving or fundraising. And people were able to raise funds online and able to transfer the funds to the needy people at the click of a button. So these were the things which initially we thought people go door to door and talk to your friends and start getting it. But yes, this was done. It's like in the need, you start reinventing yourself. So this is the time.
Okay, thank you, Satish. That sounds very optimistic. So you basically say that this is a learning process. So that's okay, that at the beginning, it may take longer. So so should we ask, for instance, Peter, with your experience delivering to external clients?
Our experience is rather positive. Many things are just faster in this remote mode because we have many technology projects, and these technology people, they are introverted, so they really enjoyed working remotely. But what had to be established is to change the communication structure, like have a daily meeting in the morning and sometimes have a daily meeting at the end of the working day. So what we had to do is to rearrange communication compared to what we do if we work together in the office. But otherwise, my experience is very positive. Okay, let's pass to Michal maybe.
Okay, Michal, how do you look at that? Because you deal with the one pool of resources. Because one of the question was that now have to more compete for shared resources as we may, reduce maybe working time for some resources. And you were talking about that some difficulties that home office is not easy for everyone.
You are completely right. Well, from my point of view, we still need to meet the people, not only about the things which are related to our work. To think about people as a man, yeah, not only about the work. Yeah, we have to meet somehow. Well, we also started with our team to have a beer. Yeah, we have just only have online beer via Teams meeting because well, we need to socialize somehow. Because at the end, if you want something from someone which is well overloaded by the work, it's up to you and your friendship with the man or with the people that they are able and willing to give you their time or their overtime. Yeah. So for me, in this online area, the biggest challenge is how to contact with the people as a person, not only the delivery for the project. And it is also the biggest challenge for the project managers. I still think that we will have a real meetings, not only online, that we will meet once per month with the whole team just for the team spirit, because I don't think that we are able to reduce it only to the online living. Yeah. Okay. In case we are working with offshore companies, okay, we have to work in online world. But if we are able to get together on the beer, I think once per month it is necessary to go out with your team and to share the team spirit, because well, it will really motivate the people.
Yeah. So, Mikhail, probably you're saying we have to empathize more and become more human in this virtual world, connect and kind of go beyond work. Probably that's what you're saying.
Yes, you are completely
I will
right.
explain. Priya, I will jump into that because we have this cross-cultural setup here. So what may not be known, I don't know. But in Czech Republic, the main socializer is beer. And so this is, it doesn't have to be beer if you drink tea or if you drink coffee. But I totally agree with Michal that we need to look for developing personal relations.
Yeah.
All right.
So beer works here as well. Don't worry.
All right. So I
Okay.
guess we left with Shintan, right?
Hi. So I would say that I advise one of my customers about having a family event. So that is something helps us to connect and then open up, share our talent, and that is how they did they did a 2 hour family event, and that was indeed a successful, wherein their kids played some music, they showed their talent. Someone shared the drawing, and someone actually did a stand-up comedy, and that is how actually we can encourage this social interaction in this virtual environment.
Cool.
So we as a project manager also should think of organizing such event for our teams.
Right. Okay. So again, it comes back to how to create the social interaction with your teams as well. So just one thought that came to my mind when Satish was saying that, to working on mental models, it takes 21 days for us to build one habit, right? And I think we are past 21 days now with this virtual mode of working, and slowly and steadily we will understand how best to leverage these virtual tools and virtual ways of working, and definitely we will come across, there'll be challenges, but we'll be able to come across them because we'll be used to it, just as we were used to traveling 2 hours to office, right? We complained, but we were used to it. Same thing with the virtual mode of working, we will become used to it. We will see that how best we can kind of have those interactions and reduce the delay, or the delay that is happening due to collaboration and communication, which used to happen very effectively. Yes, Lenka, any other questions that you see that we need to take up?
Yeah, I noticed that in the chat we have one contribution from Daniel Timmenberg, who suggests that what works for him is, for instance, agile daily time box, 15-minute stand-up, which leads me. Thank you, Daniel, for that contribution. Time boxing is a technique that helps productivity. And previously there was one interesting question in the chat, and the question I wrote it down was. In this time, did you change your project management approach more to agile? Doesn't necessarily have to be complete switch to, whatever, Scrum, etc. But did you adopted some of the agile principles more in your work, like this suggested time boxing, for instance, that would help you in this time?
Hello.
So,
with whom should we start?
so
There is one thing.
Yeah, go ahead, Chintan. Yeah.
There is one thing which we have started, that we are having, even though we are not on a agile mode or we are having any scrums, but we are having daily stand-up meeting, one at the beginning of the day and one at the end of the day. Beginning of the day, we take stock and chalk out the plan, the entire team. And at the end of the day, we again check what have we accomplished, what are the forward tasks, so that everybody has a time to know and think through, so that for the next day they are better prepared.
Right. Good. That's a good idea, Jatin. Thanks for sharing. And I would now go to Chintan to ask whether we actually what have you leveraged to ensure that we are all on track.
Yeah, so having shared folders online definitely helps to have a common repository. So that is what I have established for the teams with whom I'm collaborating. So this is something I did. That's about it.
Okay, cool. So Satish, what is your take on this?
Priya, maybe I would say I slightly come from a new age tech company, so there was not too much of a change because we already had these tools. We used to work with cross country teams anyway, so we were working in the night and in the daytime. So I think from the tooling perspective, not much is changed in our life, but we do see shared folders, online platforms, social media interactions. That definitely is growing as part of life. And of course, Netflix for me, Netflix and Prime Video. So that's grown up. Yes.
So actually, one communication channel which I love is Slack. And that really keeps everyone on track rather than emails and, all other stuff. Anyways, so Mikhail, to you now. So what are those tools or process or practices that you have adapted in this COVID era that to have more info and for more osmotic communication?
Well, it's really difficult because I'm leading mainly the project managers. So stand-ups are not working at the end. So I'm just calling to my colleagues, yeah, not only for the work reasons, but also to know if they are okay, if they have any problems with their families and so on. But if I move it to the higher level, we adapted the agile practices in portfolio management, yeah, because before COVID we were planning a lot of projects, and now we are completely changing the project portfolio because we need to adapt. Now we are focusing not on the GI, not on the growth, but to the cost base, just to the cost reduction, to improve our digitalization process, our efficiency, and so on. So I see there for the companies the big improvement if in their processes, how to handle the whole project portfolio, how to change the scope of the projects. I think that we will not be facing a fixed scope anymore in the future. Yeah, we will be just fixing for the short period of time because the demand on the market is changing every day, and we can see it after this COVID era, because in banking industry now also older people are willing to use online channels because they don't want to leave their safe area. So we have to adapt our projects and project portfolio quicker. Yeah. So for me, this is the challenge for the project managers, just to move into the way that we will have only fixed money and well fixed time, and we will be delivering best things for our customers, and the same for the portfolio level. So we will not be fixing everything at the beginning, but we will be changing every day, every month.
You'll become ultra agile, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we'll move on to Peter now. Yes, Peter, what is your take on this? What tools and
So
what
I believe that Satish, Chintan, and Michal said everything on this topic. I have just one idea that I discussed recently with my team member, is that to work virtually, the customer wants to see the outcome because they don't have the full trust that you are working if you are virtual. So we are thinking that there will be more frequent deliverables if it's connected to the Lenka question about agile practices. So we can say that maybe the projects will have like monthly deliverable to prove that we are moving forward. But it's just an idea. It's not, I don't have enough data to support this idea yet. Thank you.
Okay, I think there was a similar question on this as well. How do you build the trust when you are working remotely with your customer? So I saw that in the chat. So I think you well answered it, Mikhail. Peter. Okay, so Lenka, do we have any other questions to take up, or we can move forward? What do you say? What does your notes say, Lenka?
Yeah. So there is one question which I would like to ask. Also, I'm looking at the time. We have a little bit more than 15 minutes left, right, Priya? Am I correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so there were two very interesting questions, because at the beginning the question was, what did you learn, let's say now, I mean like very recently, and you talked a lot about communication, sharing, actually more need to socialize, etc. But then we had questions that were looking in future, and the question was not what kind of skills that you need to leverage that you already had, like socializing, communication, but do you see new skills as a project manager that you need to learn to be ready for post-COVID era? So something new, something that we didn't learn or did not just leverage what we have today, but something new. And the question was specifically how to deal with uncertainty, because let's be honest, we still don't know what's going to come, right? There's a lot of discussion. So we are all very optimistic, but we also need to be ready. So what new skills do you think that project managers should learn to, thrive in the future, in post-COVID era?
Okay, so I will leave up to the panelists to take that up. Who wants to raise his hand? I'm sorry that we all have he's over there. We know she there. Yeah, so I can see Chintan. So I will shoot it out to Chintan first. Chintan?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say that now is the time that in a crisp sentence, if I say that what took you here won't take you there. So this is the time that as a regular rigor, we must keep our skills refreshed as well as enhance our skills. For project managers, it's a good opportunity to either learn Agile, Scrum, and upgrade their skills. Alternatively, you can also pick up technology and deep dive into it, and then develop as a project manager as well as a SME in that technology, and also maybe become a good product manager. That is where you can actually develop and then prove your value for a longer tenure to your organization.
Okay, so what I get from Chintan is become more agile, learn new skills, become a product manager from a project manager. So because Yeah, PMI may not like this because PMI says this is a project economy, so everything is a project. Okay, but we respect this. Mikhail, what do you think that what are the new skills that we should learn so that we can survive this?
Well, I think if we would like to prove our value to our customers, we should also focus to the hard skills connected to the digital environment, to the improvement of the processes, to the efficiency. Yeah, and we have to start to understand what we are delivering and how we can reduce the costs. In this area, every penny will be counted. So if we are able to projects and prove it to our customers and prove it to our stakeholders, well, we will be the project managers they want. Yeah. So for me, focus on the finances. Try to get rid of the costs which are unnecessary, and at the end, try to focus deeply on the content which you are delivering. To be partner for your stakeholders and also for your team members, that you really understand the topic. And for me, the most crucial topic in this post-COVID era is costs, definitely. So it means efficiency, online digitization, and self-service for our clients. Yeah, this is mainly in IT and finance industry. It will be really hard to implement these things in automotive and other areas, but I am not automotive.
Yeah. Yes. And what about Peter? What do you think that we should learn as a project manager to
Yeah. So I would like to answer to this uncertainty because nobody knows what will really happen and what will be needed. But I would agree with what Michal said about financial skills and efficiency. But there are two strategies. Either you can just collect as many skills as possible to be ready for different situations, means have a lot of technical skills that you can utilize. Second approach would be there still will be projects. So if you would stand out of the crowd and be exceptional project manager, then you will have the job for sure. So being exceptional means especially soft skills and being really standing out of the crowd. Everybody needs to consider their own strategy for the crisis time.
Definitely.
If we talk about the exact skills, then when I bet my money as entrepreneur is business analysis and change management. So this is the two new areas of the PMI world where I invested. So business analysis, there is a lot of space on the market, and change management is a pretty new discipline, and I believe there will be opportunities.
Sure. So I like that, being exceptional, stand apart from the rest. And you have well highlighted what is required to stand apart from the rest. So I will now move on to Satish, taking his views on this as well. What are the new skills that are required?
Priya, I will add on to what Peter said. I think program management itself or project management itself is a key skill set, which should be retained as a core skill set, and you continue to just build that. But at the same time, just think of an outside in view. And what I mean by that is think of what are the organizations want to adopt and what kind of programs will be coming out of those adoptions. So if you look at it, organizations will start thinking of a mix of offline and online models, majority of them. Organizations will start moving towards cloud, will start moving towards online platforms, starts moving towards mobile apps, because majority of these interactions with the customer now are moving toward apps. Retailers are moving towards apps. So if as a program manager or a project manager, you can at least make yourself familiar with these new technologies, that adds that icing on the cake. Your core value is still program management, but at least you know about these things. You need not to be an hardcore techie to run a cloud, but at least you must know what cloud means, what mobile applications means, what retail apps means. So that's what I would say. maybe a bit of an icing on the cake to be created now, where the industry is going.
Sure. So that is really cool. And few days back, I was going through the World Economic Forum, some articles, and I saw that people were talking about IQ and EQ earlier on. Now they have added a third quotient, saying resilience quotient. As an individual, am I resilient to all this chaos that is happening? So that is probably, in my opinion, something that we need to look at as well, apart from this, all these good words of wisdom that I got from all the eminent panelists as well. Okay, so Lenka, again back to you. Do you have any more questions out there? Good questions we want to take up.
Yeah, I have to say we have really amazing audience. Again, thanks for that because you are really reacting in this chat. Yeah, it's wow, it's really inspiring. So I would like to continue with the question that we mentioned at the very beginning, because let's go back to the hard question. Should we be afraid of losing the jobs? Because there is now a new thing on the chat that I'm reading, so that yeah, we can adapt, we can learn new skills, be more proactive, etc. But if the cost cutting comes in place, what should we do? Because then it's a decision of the company. So the hard question now comes. After all you said, what would you say to project managers? Should they be worried about losing the jobs? What's gonna happen now?
Very hard question.
It is very hard. This is very hard. Let's
Priya, can
try
I
to
answer
stay
this?
optimistic. Yeah,
Can I answer?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
See, as a project manager, if push comes to show, we or our team might be forced to leave the job. Well, we can't fight the organization. Organization is much mightier than us, despite all our skills, everything. Just assume a scenario where organization doesn't have a project. What will they do with the best in the world project manager? So one has to be ready that their job security is not there. But if one is thinking ahead and having skills, may not be immediately, but within a foreseeable future, one will be back on the track and have an alternate career. That's what I think. One can't run away from the job loss.
Yeah, so I truly believe in one thing, okay? So there'll be uncertainty, there'll be challenges every time. But if you can add value to what you are doing, yeah, the organization will definitely look at keeping you, because you are adding value to their goals, to their vision, to their revenue, or whatever they are working on. So as a project manager or as an individual, it's not even a project manager. Every individual should see what value they are adding to their projects. And I think that will make you secure. And to add value, you've got to have all those skills that these SMEs have already told us about, right? So I can add value only if I have the knowledge, how to move to the cloud, or, have knowledge of those application, new business models. And I think that is my take. But I will again shoot this question back to Mikhail, maybe, because I see him right in front of me right now.
Okay.
So, yes. So how do
I
you?
see there are two levels. Two levels. First level is as we are behaving to our teams, because if there is cost reduction, we have to also fire the people. For me, the crucial skill for the project manager is the transparency, to tell the people, well, as early as possible, completely what you are going to do, that you have to reduce the total cost of the project by this amount, and you will be at the end firing 5 people. Yeah, you have to be completely transparent. For me, is the key value of the project manager to their team. If you are not transparent, you will lose their trust, and in the end you will not deliver the project. So for me, the transparency of the project managers. But well, if it comes to us, well, I am all the time saying, okay, if the company doesn't see the value within me, okay, I will leave gladly and I will find the job anywhere else. Yeah, for me, it's only about you, how you are ready to leave the company. I'm in the company for more than 10 years, but if my boss will ask me to leave it, okay, I will go, because they don't see the value, or they have to. Yeah, so for me, it's well part of my everyday job or part of my life. I don't see, you shouldn't be afraid. As long as you are afraid, well, you will be scared, you will be doing not the right decisions and so on. Yeah, there will be, well, less jobs for project managers, definitely. But we as a leaders can adapt. And at the end, we can be line managers, product managers. And I think every project manager is really good line leader for the people within the company. So we will find the jobs. So be brave. And if it comes, okay, take it.
Yes. And be brave, confront the reality, be optimist. That's what I would say. You know, you cannot change what is going on, but all you can do is you can adapt accordingly. Yes, Peter. How do you
Okay.
get over this
Well,
scare?
I would suggest to make a backup plan in case that things go wrong, because I did it for the company, and we realized that even if we lose like 80% of customers, we still here and it still works. So make your plan. Maybe not everybody, like Michal said, has enough social skills to be a line manager, but many of us have technical background. It can roll back to some analyst role or developer role. So there are some, let's say, rollback options for maybe 1-2 years where you can survive if things go really wrong, and then you can come back to project management when the economy will pick up. So have your B plan ready, and suddenly you realize it's not that bad as you are expecting.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah. So with this, we will move on to Satish and then to Chintan. We are running out of time, so probably this will be the last question. Yeah, Satish?
Priya, I think I don't have anything further to add, except saying that I don't think this is a risk to a particular department. It is risk to an industry. So long the whole industry survives and able to scrape through, I think the various departments will also survive with their own pain points. That's how I see it. It's not that a PM is at risk and maybe R&D is not at risk. It's not a departmental issue anymore. Yes.
Yeah, that is true. Yes, Chintan, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so professionally, all of us have been a project manager until now and been delivering outcomes successfully. So why not have a skill-up program for ourselves? What would you do in next 90 days? What would you do in next 180 days? What would you do in next 1 year? Introspect, examine your skills, decide a path, explore other opportunities, and if we can do it professionally for others and earn our salaries out of it, then this is the time that we have to do it for ourselves. Build a skill up program for yourself, work on it with same rigor as you have been working for your employer. So that's something all of us should have a plan for, all of us, all individuals. Yes.
Okay, so we should have a plan B as well, and if the B also doesn't work, we should have a plan C. There are 24 more letters in the English vocabulary. We can go after one after another, but definitely have a plan. So I think we've covered all the panelists. Peter, did we go to you? I might have missed.
Yeah, we did.
We did. Okay. So Lenka, I think we just have 1 more minute. Would you want to summarize all the discussions that we had today? The wonderful 1 hour of discussion that we had.
Yeah, I think it was really amazing discussion because I think we demonstrated really nicely this whole situation. We covered the topic, we engaged in the communication, and that's it. This is what you were talking about the most. It's about adaptability. It's about be open-minded, to look for opportunities and to connect. Don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to learn. Maybe you don't have time right now, just listen, 5 minutes, whatever, because as the world is changing, we need to change too to be able to keep the pace. So thanks again for all the great questions. I'm really, excited about this exchange. And even if we are coming from different parts of the world, I see that we have a lot of topics in common. So it was great to hear it. We did not cover every individual question, but we will still go through the chat. And the event was recorded, recorded. So we will, share with Priya how can we provide you with this recorded session so that you can go through later and replay.
Yeah, so we will provide the link to the recording to you as well, Lenka, to be circulated among the Czech friends, and obviously to the Mumbai friends as well. Before we sign off, if everyone can switch on their videos and give a thumbs up, I will take a screenshot to post on my social media handle. In a count of 1, 2, 3, please switch on your videos and give 2 thumbs up like this. Yes.
Like this? Okay, yeah. I got it.
Okay, let me take a screenshot first, and then I will give 2 thumbs up, and Linda will take a screenshot. I don't want to miss out on this at all.
I am taking the screenshot. How do I do that, Priya?
Control print screen.
Yeah, but Priya, hold on a second, because I need to switch to different view. Oh my.
Yeah, Abhishek only showing his thumbs up.
Okay, got it. Okay, guys, I got it. And let me now do the screenshot. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, done. I think she did it. I lost her video, but I think she did it. So I think we are just 1 minute on the top of the hour. So Lenka, are you still there? I don't see her.
Yeah, I'm still there, but I'm still there.
Network looks like. Okay, so now on behalf of me and Lenka, we do thank you for joining in. Thank you so much for spending this 1 hour in Friday evening with us. It's Friday evening for us, and I think it's almost evening for you as well. We will surely keep this partnership going, and we will keep exchanging our ideas. Guys, from the Mumbai chapter, please connect with the folks on the Czech Republic chapter on LinkedIn. And same for Czech friends. Please keep everyone from Mumbai chapter. Background noise. Okay, there was some background noise. I don't know from where it came, but yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining. See ya. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.